Ease of doing business is an index published by the World Bank. It is an aggregate figure that includes different parameters which define ease of doing business in a country. Today, the World Bank Group's report on doing business ranks Kenya position 61 out of 190 countries, an improvement from position 80 out of 190 last year. The chief guest, Cabinet Secretary, Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Peter Munya, pointed out during the report release that it's crucial for the government to work with the private sector in creating a conducive business environment.
The environment for doing business so that we make it easier and rewarding for the private sector to continue thriving in this country. Because we believe the private sector and businesses and investments are very, very critical in addressing some of the challenges that each country faces in terms of supporting livelihoods, generating wealth, creating employment for its citizens, and the overall well-being of the people. So Kenya has, in its planning, in its programs, put at the center that agenda of creating the right environment for businesses and the private sector to thrive.
He went ahead to give an assurance of the government commitment towards this end.
Reforms have been done that obviously must have generated to a better performance that has again pushed Kenya into a better ranking than the previous year. And we want to assure you in the country that we will continue improving on those reforms, working with the private sector and getting them backstopping and technical support we get from the World Bank and the World Bank Group, and of course also relying on our very able team.
World Bank County Director Felipe Jaramillo stated ease of doing business reforms have happened in Africa.
And I'm also very glad to report that Africa as a whole, as a region, has become the top reforming region globally. In this year's report that will be released in a few minutes, there are 107 reforms tallied there from African countries of the total of 314 business-friendly reforms globally. So close to a third of the total number of reforms in the report come from African countries, and this is a clear indication that African governments, African private sectors understand the need for reform.
He went on to challenge the private sector to keep fighting the challenges that Africa is yet to overcome.
And Africa still has some big development challenges. For example, today, 650 million Africans still do not have access to electricity. 350 million still do not have access to clean water. And despite the fact that Africa has the largest bank of uncultivated land in the world, $35 billion worth of food imports come into Africa every year. I believe firmly that the private sector is central in addressing these challenges.
Kenya has improved from position 136 out of 190 5 years ago to a score of 70.31 points in Business Score 2017-2018, ranking it in a position 61 this year. Kenya and Rwanda are among the top most improved economies. However, Kenya still has a long way to go, with Mauritius coming in 20th and Rwanda 29th. Reporting for BrandPlus TV, I am Karari John, Wambugu.
So I think most of you in the room are more or less familiar with doing business as you've all been working.